Okay, fifth graders, today is Thursday, September 5th, and today, because you have a substitute, I'm recording this video ahead of time so that you can watch it and learn today's math lesson through this video rather than through me in person, live and in person. It's just as good, I guess, hopefully, to have a video. Now, as you're working your way through this video, I want you to pause along the way so that you can be taking the time to solve problems and take good math notes and write down your thinking in your math workbook. Simply watching the video through is not going to help your math learning. So you really have to take control of your learning today and pause along the way so that you can learn the lesson well. Okay? You'll notice today we're not doing Eureka Math. We're taking a detour away from Eureka and diving into one lesson of Go Math just because I like the way it teaches it better. Today we're doing Go Math Module 3, Lesson 4, and the pages for this are right in your workbook, so you can find it right after Lesson 6. Today, the learning goal, by the end of the math lesson, you should be able to take what you know about place value and use it to help you round decimals. You should have talked about the problem of the day with your sub, so we're going to continue right along into today's math lesson. Okay, if we look at Unlock the Problem, it says, the gold frog of South America is one of the smallest frogs in the world. It is 0.386 of an inch long. What is the length rounded to the nearest hundredth of an inch? Okay, so of course, as always, we have to underline what the question's asking. The question's asking, what is this length rounded to the nearest hundredth of an inch? The important information that we're going to circle is the exact value is 0.386 inches long. And we want to round it to the nearest hundredth. We want to round it to the hundredths place. Before we dive into this, I want to remind you what rounding means. Whenever you see the word rounding, or about, or estimate, I'll write it over here, it tells you that you're not finding an exact answer. You're finding an answer that's pretty close to the exact answer, but it's a number that's easier to think about or easier to work with in your head. Okay, so in this case, it's asking us the exact answer we know. It's 0.386 inches long. But we want to round it to the nearest hundredth place so that it's easier to think about. Okay, so one way we do this is using a place value chart, and this is actually the way I prefer. We can write the number in a place value chart and circle the digit in the place we want to round. So over here, you'll see we have 0.386. We know we want to round to the hundredths place, so we're going to circle the hundredths place. Then you're going to underline the place directly to the right, which is, in this case, the thousands place. Okay? If the digit to the right is less than 5, the digit in the place to which you are rounding stays the same. If the digit to the right is 5 or greater, the digit in the rounding place increases by 1. In this case, 6 is greater than 5, so this is going to increase by 1. So it's going to be 0.39. We could put a 0 here, but also we know that 0 has no value, so it's up to you if you want to put it or not. That's why it says you can drop the digits after the place to which you are rounding. So, to the nearest hundredth of an inch, a gold frog is about 0.39 of an inch long. Please pause right now to take some notes and to jot down your thinking. Another way is also to use what you know about place value, okay? So it says the little grass frog is the smallest frog in North America. It is 0.437 of an inch long. So if we want to round to the nearest hundredth, again, we have 0.437, right? We're going to circle the hundredths place, and we're going to underline the place to the right, which is the thousands place. I know that 7 is more than 5, so it's going to make this add 1. So it's going to change it to 0.44. So the nearest hundredth of an inch, the frog is about 44 hundredths of an inch. Now, if I want to round it to the nearest tenth of an inch, this time, if I still have the same length, 0.437, but I'm going to circle the tenths place, and I'm going to underline the place directly to the right, which is the hundredths place. 3 is less than 5 this time, so it's going to make this stay the same. I'm going to drop these 2 units, because the whole point of rounding to the tenths means I don't want to deal with hundredths or thousands. So the nearest tenth of an inch, to the nearest tenth of an inch, the frog is about 0.4 or 4/10 of an inch long. You can see that 4/10 is easier to think about than 437 thousandths, and that's why we round, to make numbers easier to think about in our heads. Let's use what we've learned to solve this problem. It says, the Goliath frog is the largest frog in the world. It is found in the country of Cameroon in West Africa. The Goliath frog can grow to be 11.815 inches long. That's almost 1 foot. Just take some time to think about that. That is a huge frog. The question's asking us, how long is the Goliath frog to the nearest inch? Okay, the important information, of course, is it's 11.815. I'm still not over that. That's crazy. Inches long. And we're rounding to the nearest inch. Now, 1 inch is in the ones place, right? So this is really asking us to round it to the ones place. Okay, so your first step is you're going to write 11.815 in the place value chart. We're going to find the place to which we want to round. Well, we want to know the nearest inch, which is the ones place. Circle it. Underline the digit to the right. That's in the tenths place. 8 is greater than 5. And 5 is that magic number because 5 is always, you can always think of 5 as the magic number because 5 is exactly halfway between 1 and 10. If you have a number line, 5 is at the midway point, right? Okay, it's the midway point. So 8 is more, 8's over here, right? It's more than the midway point, so it's greater, it's closer to the next number than it is to the original number. So it's going to bump that up 1, and then we can drop these digits, right? So to the nearest inch, the Goliath frog is about 12 inches long. I want you to take some time, pause the video right now, and in the margins, write what your answer would be, how your answer would change. Would it change if the frog were 11.286 inches long instead? Take some time, pause the video, answer that question, and explain your thinking using words. When you're done, move on. Okay, here's a good question. Explain why any number less than 12.5, so like 12.4, 12.42, etc., and greater than or equal to 11.5 would all round to 12 when rounded to the nearest whole number. Think about it. If I have 12.5 or anything less than 12.5, so 12.4, 12.3, if I'm rounding to the nearest whole number, they would all round down to 12, wouldn't they? If I have anything equal to or greater than 11.5, so 11.6, 11.7, if I'm rounding to the nearest ones place, if I look at these, they would all make that number go up by 1. So these would all round to 12. I want you to pause the video right now and explain in your own words how this is true. Okay, now, try this. The number is 14.603. I want you to practice rounding it to the nearest hundredth, so 14.603. You're going to circle the hundredths and underline the thousands. Practice rounding it to the nearest hundredth. Then you're going to also practice rounding it to the nearest whole number, which is the nearest ones. Every time it says whole number, you know that your whole numbers end in the ones place, so that means you're rounding it to the ones. Okay, pause the video right now. Otherwise, you're going to see the answer, which will not help your math thinking. Pause right now, pause. Okay, once you've unpaused, you should check your answers. Now, the reason why I know that this 0 in the hundredths place has no value, but the reason why we still put it is because it asks us to round to the nearest hundredth place. So you got to include the hundredth place. Okay, so put 14.60. And the number rounded to the nearest whole number would be 15. Okay, the next few pages are for you to do for practice. Now I want you to individually do the share and show section, the on your own section, and the problem solving / applications section on page 123 to 124. The page after that, front and back, are for you to do extra practice at home, okay? When you're done with that, please come get the white exit ticket, turn it into your sub, and move on with your day. Have a great day. As a reminder, because this is a Go Math lesson, there are no Zern lessons for you to do today. Thank you.